Alright, and this is the Metal God 666 here, bringing you a rant slash pro con kind of thing. This is a video I've been meaning to make for actually quite some time, and I just haven't. Don't know why. But anyways, we're going to make it now. So anyways, we're going to do this. It's going to be the old school, you know, CD right here. My vinyls are over there, actually. Probably should have picked that, but anyway, beside the point. It's just the first thing I picked up out of my collection over here. Hey, old school versus new school. This would be an Ipod, not a Zoom, because they suck. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about the difference. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of the old school versus the new school, and why I think one is better than the other. Now, both of them, yes, do have pros, and both of them do have cons. Okay, so let's talk about, because I know way a lot about both of them, because being which the age I am. But if you're like even a little bit younger than me, you can probably remember most of these times. If you're way younger than me, if you only remember maybe even seeing just CDs in stores, you don't see any cassettes. Sorry, you probably fall more towards the new school. Sorry, the old school people are the ones that remember going in the store and remember buying cassettes and remember seeing nothing but cassettes in there, saying like maybe a handful of CDs here or there, but that's about it. You know, it's not a lot of people had like CDs at that time, had CD players because they were fucking expensive. All right, so without further ado, let's go on. All right, now, pros of the old school. Now, pros of the old school. Now, let's see here. I remember a time, and I still do this myself. But anyways, yes, there was a time where people gathered at record stores. Where you actually gather at a record store. You actually spend, 2, 3, 4 hours in a record store. Sometimes even more than that. Sometimes. And I still do that. Hell, there's been times where I've gone the entire day and went record store to record store, CD store to CD store, hunting up CDs and vinyls and everything else. I still do that now. Myself, personally. And I know quite a few people who actually do that. And people here in Japan still do that. Most Japanese do that. But I know as far as the US, it's not so common. But there's no better feeling than going to a record store, you meet some people, you're both going there, hell, you may even go to buy the same album. You're like, oh shit. And the person behind the counter actually knew about music, and could actually sit there and talk to you because they were passionate about music. They were passionate. Now, if you go into any big chain of record stores, they're just going to be like, oh, what are you looking for? Oh, let me type it on the computer here. How do you spell that band name again? I've never even heard this band before. What is this? Some pop? Country? Is it rap? Is it... Don't know shit about fucking music. I mean, I'm not saying all sales clerks are like that as far as like big chains in the States go. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying most. I'm saying majority. Don't know shit about fucking music and they just hired any Joe Schmo. It used to be, you'd want to work at a record store. If you're passionate about music, that's the place you want to work. And also, another pro about the old school, is the fact that, like, going back to the record store, you go in there, you buy your kick-ass album. You buy the album, right? You buy the album, and you go back in your car, you open it up, or you open it up as soon as you get out of the store. I've done it before a couple times. As soon as I got out of the store, before I even got in the car, and you go in your car, you go pop that CD in there, go pop that cassette in your fucking, in your player, after you start the car up and you start driving along and you just start listening to, the album that you bought, and then you just, in all its majesty, you sit back and you relax and you listen to it and you're driving along. There's no better feeling like that in the world. There's none. I know you guys in new school, you can't possibly know that feeling unless you completely take yourself out of this digital age. You will not know that feeling. Like I said, it's just magic. It's beyond magic. I mean, like, seriously, like, it's beyond magic. I mean, like I said, words can't even describe the feeling that you get when you start driving away and you're listening to that album that you just bought. You're like, yeah. Or even better, pro. It's like, so you're looking for this so-and-so album. Insert album, whatever you're looking for in here. And say, for instance, it's rare or hard to find. I still do this. That's the reason why I'll hunt in record stores. Because when I find the album that I've been looking for, you feel like you just won. You're like, seriously, like, you feel like you just won. Now, of course, I know you new school guys up there, you'd be like, well, you can just go on eBay or Amazon and find it, and find that album, and probably end up paying less. Blah, 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 blah. So fucking what? Alright, it's not the same. I don't get the same feeling. Now, yes, I bought a few kind of rare albums on Amazon or eBay and stuff like that. Yes, I've done it before. But it's not the same. It's not the same. You don't get that same feeling. You don't get that same rush of finding it. As you feel like after you find this album that you've been hunting for so long, you feel like you just found gold. Like, imagine you're going on a fucking treasure hunt. This is the only way I really can describe it to you new school guys. Is that, you feel like you're going on a treasure hunt. And then you feel like you found treasure. You're like, yes! And then everybody, as far as like old school goes, I remember back in the day, they were like, oh, this band's about to come out with a new album. All their new singles about to come out. And it'll be played between this time to this time. Everybody's ears stayed glued to that radio station because you wanted to hear that new single. Now, albums are getting leaked on the internet like a month before the album comes out. A month and a half, 2 months. Songs are getting released from album that are not supposed to be singles. They're getting released for everybody to hear. There you go. It's all my pros for old school. Now, cons being that, you had to carry around as far as like taking your music with you and being, portable and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, 1 or 2 CDs, hey, that's not that hard to take around with you. But when you're driving your car, you got a long car trip, or even driving for quite, you can be cruising around for a while. It's kind of hard to take a big, bulky CD case book, because I remember, in order to be under my seat, I remember having like 300 or 400 CDs just sitting under my just sitting under my passenger side, and I had more CDs sitting underneath me. And if somebody broke in and stole that shit, I'd be fucked. Thank goodness I didn't. Knock on wood. But yeah, you're carrying around a lot of CDs with you. Run the risk of it getting stolen. Especially you pop CDs in your car, or even a cassette in your car, you run the risk of, especially a CD, you run the risk of it getting scratched up, because I've had to rebuy some CDs for the simple fact that they were just so scratched up from me driving around in my car that they're just like almost unplayable. That's another bad thing. Or, the tape deck eats up your cassette. That's, and to the point where you can't salvage it, because sometimes when the the film comes out, you can salvage it. You can kind of get it out there. It takes a little bit of time, but you can get it out. And then sometimes it gets tangled up so bad that you break it. There's no getting around it. Now, given you can kind of retape it back up, but you're gonna have to make sure you skip over that part. And it's going to sound a little fucked up. So yeah, I guess that's the major drawbacks. And then also, You know, finding bands at that time was extremely hard. But at the same token, it almost falls back on what I said before about finding an album. When you find a kick-ass band, oh sorry, one last pro/con, okay, I can say it's good and it could be bad, but at the same token, if you find a band that you never knew existed, and you find them, you're like, holy shit, you feel like you just struck gold, you know? But at the same token, it was a lot more harder to find out about bands, especially from like other countries and stuff like that. Is extremely hard, especially where I grew up. It was extremely hard, you know. So, anyways, that's about all I got from that. So, like I said, let's talk about the pros of new school. The major pro, the only real pro I can see as to the, you know, as far as like the, you know, the new digital age of stuff, is the simple fact that all my albums, I can take it on this. You know, I can walk around with this. You see, well, it's in a case, you know, so it's not very big. It's actually not very big. See, it's like that. You know, it's like that fat. You know, but with the case and all and everything, you know, it's a little bit fatter. But still very portable. I've got a fucking mini jukebox right here in the palm of my hand. You know, and as soon as I get a CD, you know, I'll pop it on the computer, put it to iTunes, and then put it on my iPod. And here we go, you know. So, I mean, that's the one major, you know, advantage I do see about it. You know. But other than that, there's nothing but cons. You know. Like I was saying before, you know, part about, you know, record companies having to put out the song after certain songs been leaked on the internet, they've got to put it out. They'll try to take it off, but people have already heard it. So there's no taking it back. Take it back when people heard. Just not like you can't send, you know, fucking Men in Black to like erase your memory with the little fucking zapper thingy, which I don't have it. I don't have a little zapper thingy, or even a, you know, toy of it or whatever, prop of it, whatever. I don't have that shit, so I can't, you know, just use your imagination. Your imagination, you know, will be right here for the zapper thing, whatever the hell's caught him, or fucking I ain't seen the movie in fucking forever. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. And then of course some people probably downloaded it, so they're able to listen to it, and you know, now yes, music's coming more widely available, you know, to. You know, it's, like I said, you know, it's another pro and con, you know, as far as finding the bands. Yes, it's a ton easier. And yes, it's a ton easier to get stuff now than it was, you know, 10 years ago even. 10, 15 years ago. You know. So, anyways, like I said, me personally, myself, I prefer the old school. I prefer doing it the old school way. Hence why I still go into record stores and I will still spend hours upon hours in a record store. Like, you will definitely, it could be the most piddliest, shittiest looking CD store and have maybe maybe two shelves of like metal, and I will be there for an hour or more, you know. Or you go somewhere like Disc Union with me, fuck. You're going to be in there for like 5 hours. Like, I'm not even lying. Because they have everything separated. And it's awesome. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer the new school? Do you like the old school? Not saying one person's right or wrong here. You know, these are all just opinions. But like I said, in my opinion, old school, still far better. Anyways, the Metal God 666 here. Signing out. Guys, keep it metal, motherfuckers. And I'm out.